Hello everyone and welcome back to another video of Genshin with Daka. Today we will be talking about the little Mujina ninja Sayu. We will discuss her talents, passives, and constellations. If you enjoy this video, consider subscribing. This information is from beta testing and it's leaked on Honey Impact, so definitely check out their website. But you should still take this information with a grain of salt. Now let's get started. If you did not know, Sayu is an Anemo Claymore. These are her base stats. At level 90, in terms of HP, she has 11,854. So we can safely say 12,000. It is not the highest, but it is definitely better than some of the squishy DPSs, such as Klee and Ganyu with the low about 10k HP. She has a surprisingly low base attack of 244. Her defense is 745, and her ascension stat is Elemental Mastery, and at level 90 she gains 96 Elemental Mastery. It is still less than Kazuha's leaked amount of Elemental Mastery, but what can we expect? She is a 4-star. For her ascension, these are the leaks again. She will use Mora, obviously, Whopper Flower Nectar, the Anemo Crystals, the Magu Kenki Marinette Core. So this is already available to farm if you want to start now. And Purple Crystal, which is probably the exploration material. And this is most likely going to be from Inazuma when the Inazuma region comes out. So for her normal attack, she does 4 consecutive strikes, and for the charged attack, she does the Beyblade spin, and then at the end of the Beyblade spin, there's a more powerful slash. And her multipliers are not too bad. At level 10, for the 1-hit damage being 142%, the 2-hit damage being 141%, the 3-hit damage being 85 plus 85%, the 4-hit damage being 193%. The charge attack spinning damage is 123% at level 10, and the final slash does 223% damage. The stamina cost is 40 per second, and the max duration of this spin is 5 seconds. So for her plunging damage, she does 147%, so about the same as her hits. And then for the low plunging damage, it's 294, and the high is 368. So some pretty big multipliers on that plunge damage. Next, let's talk about Sayu's elemental skill, Yuhu Art Fuyin Dash. So this is called the special technique of the Yuhu Ninja Arts. And basically what Sayu does when you activate the skill is curl up into a rolling Fufu wind wheel and smash into opponents at high speed, dealing Anemo damage. This Fufu wind wheel can also absorb an element, and when the Fufu wind wheel is over, it creates a Fufu whirlwind kick, dealing AoE Anemo damage. So this is a press and hold skill, and when you press it, you just enter the Fufu wind wheel state and roll forward a short distance before using the Fufu wind wheel kick. So it's basically covering space in a very small amount of time, and then just doing her Anemo slash. When you hold, you continuously roll around in this Fufu windwheel state for up to 10 seconds, and this will increase Sayu's resistance to interruption. This will allow Sayu to control the direction of the roll, so if you just want to be a little Geovishap hatchling and roll around, or if you want to dodge the enemy, you can definitely do that with the skill. And you can use the skill again to end the windwheel state and create the whirlwind kick. And the hold version can trigger the elemental absorption. And the skill has a maximum duration of 10 seconds and enter cooldown. And the longer Sayu remains in the windwheel state, the longer the cooldown. And this can come into contact with Hydro, Pyro, Cryo, and Electro, and this will deal additional damage of that type. So, also, while you're rolling around in her ball state, she can actually hit opponents. Okay, she can smash into opponents at high speed, but then she can also do this slash damage with the elemental absorption if you're in a hold state. So the wind wheel damage at level 10 is 64%, so not that high. And when you press, the whirlwind kick does 285% damage. And the wind wheel kick, or the wind wheel hold, does 391, which is insane damage. The elemental damage, the absorption isn't that high, it's 30%, so a little bit lower than Venti and Kazuha, obviously. And the kick elemental damage, that's for the wind wheel, and for the whirlwind kick, it actually does 137 damage, which is pretty good. The max duration for holding this skill is 10 seconds, and the cooldown is 6 to 11 seconds. This strikes me as odd, because if you hold it for the entire 10 seconds and the cooldown's 11 seconds, does the cooldown start after? Oh, yes, okay, so the cooldown starts after. So, if you hold for the entire 10 seconds, you will have to wait 11 seconds before you can use the skill again. This is most likely why the multipliers are this high, because the skill has sort of a long cooldown. Now let's discuss Sayu's burst, Yuhu Art Mujina Madness. And this burst can deal animo damage to nearby opponents and also heal all party members. The amount of HP restored is based on her attack, so I think sort of like Diona's healing. And she also summons a Muji Muji Daruma. So this Muji Muji Daruma can heal some of the nearby characters. So even if you're in co-op, it can heal characters from both parties, or technically from both people. And it can do some animo damage. And these sort of like Bennett's. If it's above 70%, it does animo damage. If it's lower than 70%, it will heal the character with the lowest percentage left. And it will not do animo damage. So at level 10, the skill activation damage is 210%, and the skill activation healing is 165% attack plus 1,270. So she will heal continuously, but this is just the beginning heal for all party members. Then the Muji Muji Daruma damage at level 10 does 93.6%. So not that high. But then again, Sayu is more of a utility character. And the Muji Muji Daruma healing is actually pretty high with 143.77 attack plus 1,101. Because if this is doing it constantly this every second or every 2 seconds, then you're going to get some decent healing. This cooldown is 20 seconds, but the energy cost is 80. So she may need some energy recharge on her sands possibly to make sure that she can get up that burst a lot. Because I think that she can be a very good healer and attack buffer, but maybe we can use energy recharge on the sands because she doesn't do that much attack either way. Now let's discuss Sayu's talent materials and her passive talents. So she will need, obviously, one of the Inazuma scroll type of talent book. We don't really know anything about these, but for her material, she will actually require Whopper Flower Nectar, and that is going to be a pain. Obviously, she will need a Crown of Insight at level 10, and she will need Mora for all 10 levels, and she will also use a material from Azdaha. Now for her passive talents. She's got the Yuhu Art Silencer's Secret. And this is the one that mobile players are very happy about because it basically says that when Sayu's in the party, your character will not startle crystal flies and other wild animals. So maybe this will help you kill Timmy's birds easier. This will help you catch crystal flies, which is a relief for mobile players as well. So this is a pretty good exploration talent. Now for her next talent, which is Go Find Someone Else, it says this. When Sayu triggers a swirl reaction while active, she heals all your characters and nearby allies for 300 HP. She can also heal more for each of her elemental mastery points for 1.2 HP. So that's pretty nice. And this effect can be triggered once every 2 seconds. So, like I said, you either want to have some energy recharge sands or maybe some elemental mastery sands, because she seems to benefit from elemental mastery. Her last passive talent is called I Don't Want to Work. And it says that when she has her ult, the Muji Muji Daruma, created by Yuhu Art, Mujina Madness, gains the following effects. When healing a character, it will also heal characters near that healed character for 20% the amount of HP. So this is only useful if you're in co-op. The more useful passive part of this talent is it increases the AoE of its attack against opponents, which is useful because then you can get your animo damage against more opponents. Next, we'll talk about her constellations. So, Sayu's first constellation is called Multitask no Jutsu. And basically, it's like Bennett's first constellation, which says, the Muji Muji Daruma, created by Yuhu Art, Mujina Madness, will ignore HP limits and can simultaneously attack and heal. And this is very useful, and I think it's a constellation you should go for, because it's like Bennett's first constellation, and the first constellation is obviously the easiest one to obtain. The second constellation is called Egress Prep, and it basically gives her elemental skill the following attacks. The damage effects. The damage of the Fufu Whirlwind Kick in the press mode is increased by 3.3%. So not too high, but whatever. And every 0.5 seconds in the Fufu Wind Wheel state will increase the damage of this Fufu Whirlwind Kick by 3.3%. The maximum damage increase possible through this method is 66%. Wow, that's tongue-tying me. So, basically, every 0.5 seconds, so 1 second, you gain 6.6 additional damage. So if you roll for 1 second, you're going to have 9.9% additional damage. Now, this is nice, because 66%, if you roll for all 10 seconds, you're going to get a 69% increase in your Whirlwind Kick. That is absolutely fantastic. Not a very bad constellation, not at all. And she is a 4-star. And we don't know if she's going to be on a Yaka banner or Yomiya banner, we think she's going to be on one of them. But whichever one she is, if you're pulling for that 5-star, you're in luck. You get those constellations. So, Constellation 3, which is called the Bunshin can handle it. Wow, these words are making me talk crazy. Increases her ultimate level by 3. Her fourth constellation is Skiving, new and improved. And it basically says, Sayu recovers 1.2 energy when she triggers a swirl reaction. This effect occurs once every 2 seconds. Well, she's going to trigger swirl reactions pretty often because she is Animo. And this really helps her solve her energy problem. The problem with this solution, though, is that it is Constellation 4. For Constellation 5, it increases her elemental skill level by 3. Her Constellation 6, called Sleep O'Clock, says this. Her Daruma, the Muji Muji Daruma, created by her ultimate, will also benefit from her elemental mastery. Each point of her elemental mastery will produce the following effect. It increases the damage dealt by this Daruma attacks by 0.2% attack. And you can get up to 400% attack with this method if you build her with a bunch of elemental mastery. And this is pretty nice. 400% attack increase if you build her with a bunch. I don't know how much yet, but I will definitely calculate this later. And the amount of HP restored by the Muji Muji Daruma is increased by 3. A maximum of 6,000 HP can be restored in this manner. So each point of elemental mastery you have, it will increase the healing by 3, which is also pretty decent. This is all the information I have on Sayu for you guys today. If you have some new information and you would like to share it with me, comment below. And thank you for watching. Genshin with Daka out.